Chairman.
Senator Daines.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Ambassador Greer, welcome to Capitol Hill. I share the President's determination to end these unfair trade practices, whether they are tariffs or non-tariff barriers. I hope we can avoid an all-out trade war. A trade war will mean higher prices for the American consumer, because I think we could do a little thought exercise at the moment. Who pays these high tariffs? In the short, medium term, it will be the consumer. It'll be the consumer. And so I'm worried about the inflationary effect. I'm worried if there is a trade war, that we're going to have markets shutting down for American farmers, ranchers, and manufacturers. I'll give you an example of that here in a moment. But I'm encouraged because the President's announcement has gotten the attention of a lot of countries. I was encouraged to see Kevin Hassett this morning talking about negotiation occurring, looking at President Trump's latest posts on Truth Social, the fact that we've got Koreans now coming to the United States, literally dispatched to engage with us to lower these barriers, tariff and non-tariff, the Japanese, and some 70 countries now that want to come and work and address the issues of the barriers for American companies, American producers doing businesses in their countries with 95% of the world's consumers outside the United States. Critically important. So this is very encouraging. I think that's in part why we're seeing the rebound today in the equity markets, because there's hope that these tariffs are a means and not solely an end. And if that's the case, I think we're on a really good path with this kind of tough position we're taking to actually solve some of these problems in barriers in trade that have been lingering for decades. And President Trump is taking bold leadership to address it, and I'm hoping for a good outcome. My hope is this is a sign of things to come, that these countries will offer major concessions and make historic trade deals with President Trump. Ambassador Greer, I encourage the administration, encourage you to use this opportunity to secure better terms with our partners, with our allies, to protect and grow American jobs, to grow access for our American farmers, our ranchers, our manufacturers, and American families. 3 weeks ago, I was in Hanoi and met with General Party Secretary Do Lam, the highest ranking official in Vietnam. And then I went to Beijing and met with high ranking Chinese officials, including the Premier Li Qiang. I carried President Trump's America First message directly to these leaders. I spoke with Premier Li Qiang and demanded that China stop the flow of the fentanyl precursors into Mexico, the United States, and Canada. I raised concerns about developments related to the expiration of registrations for beef processing plants here in the United States and some non-science-based barriers which has impacted Montana and U.S. beef exports. I want to remind you that in 2017, I went to China. I carried some steaks from a Montana rancher, Fred Wacker of Miles City, Montana. We met with the premier. In fact, I had one of your predecessors, Rob Portman, then the senator from Ohio and a former USTR with me. I had Senator Barrasso with me, Senator Kennedy with me. And as a result of that meeting, 30 days later, they lifted a 14-year ban on U.S. beef imports into China. Let me talk about what that has meant so far. This is the largest beef export market in the world, is now China. For U.S. producers of beef, in 2021, we shipped $1.6 billion of beef. Keep in mind, the 2017 number was $31 million. It was $2.1 billion in 22, $1.6 billion in 23, $1.6 billion in 24. But here's the concern. That's been shut off now in the last 3 weeks. March exports of beef to China, U.S. beef, declined 92%. So the valve is shut right now for U.S. beef producers. My question is, what can we do to hold China's commitment to U.S. beef and other ag imports, which are so critical right now for U.S. producers?
Thank you, Senator, and you've always been a leader on this, and I appreciate that. China, of course, needs to take down their barriers. It's been a persistent challenge with them, and they like to use economic coercion, and they have their own method of doing things. But my hope would be is that they turn back on this course of action. I think President Trump is focused on making sure we have the right program in place, that we're dealing with partners who are going to be respectful and achieve reciprocity with us. And I think a lot of this is going to be up to the Chinese on how forward-leaning they want to be on having fair trade with us. I'm very sensitive to this issue in particular, and I want to make sure we open up beef markets other places too, so we don't have to be dependent on just one market.
Yeah. Well, Ambassador Greer, I'm encouraged by the negotiations that are going on as we speak with Japan, with Korea, with some 70 countries who want to now reduce their tariff and non-tariff barriers. This could be absolutely a monumental moment in trade for the United States, and Godspeed.
Thank my colleague. Next is Senator Young.
Good to have you here, Ambassador Greer. And let me just begin by commending you. You've been very accessible as we've tried to get some clarity on exactly trade policy and where we're headed and how we expect counterparties to move and all the rest. You returned my phone call immediately, and your team's been in touch with mine. So just that speaks very well of you and the Trump